Good morning! Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the Read It or Unhaul It vlog. So, for this vlog, it was very much inspired by Emily Fox from Emily Fox and Books or whatever. I'll link her channel. But basically, the concept is that she has like a bucket with all of her titles, like her book titles, and she has a lot, like 400 or something like that, and each of these reading vlogs she pulls one at a time, and then she grabs that book off her shelf and she starts reading. I think after the first chapter, she does a little check-in on if she's going to continue or if she's already going to unhaul it. And basically, it's just DNF'd and then unhauled right away. And she keeps going until she reads a whole book. Or for a whole week, depending on which one is longer of the two. So either she reads until usually she reads until she finds a book that she finishes, but sometimes it's a week of just didn't like it. Instead, I'm going to be making a physical TBR like I did. There are 196 books on here. I think it's accurate. And we also need to clean up in here a little bit later. Clean that up. There's some things that are going to happen later, but first we're going to kind of just wake up and run some errands and things. I just want to know what my first book is going to be, so let's find out. Oh, okay, that is a thriller, so it should be either right here, that's my thriller shelf, or right here. These are my new to me books. I think it might be a new to me book, but it's The Dead Ex. I haven't liked anything by this author before, so it kind of scares me. But we'll be reading that a little bit later. For right now, we're just gonna kind of go get started on our day, run some errands, probably make some breakfast, things like that. And I'll catch up with you later. Alright, it's been a while. And I've read the first 54 pages of The Dead Ex by Jane Corey. I don't like it. And like, I can't full-heartedly explain why. I feel like this author is just not a good author for me. I don't appreciate her writing, and I think that I just have to be okay with that. But this was like really, really weird. This was just a weird story. There are multiple points of view that get very, very messy. The timelines are weird, and I don't know, maybe I just don't have the brain power to care right now, but it's also kind of reminding me of The Girl on the Train, and I absolutely hated that. So I'm gonna be unhauling The Dead Ex by Jane Corey for this Read It or Unhaul It challenge. I didn't like the writing at all, so I'm also going to be unhauling My Husband's Wife by Jane Corey without reading it. I've read one other book by this author, and I've just come to the conclusion that she's not an author for me. Now, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm hoping that something that I have on audiobook or something I can get from the library or Everand from the like on audiobook is available, so that I can clean this stuff up and maybe do some grades and things, but I don't know for sure. But let's just shuffle. 1, 2, 3, and spin. Oh, spin. Tap. There we go. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, it's a nonfiction. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, the good news is that I wanted to read this year. But this is The Five by Haley Rubenhold. Oh man. This is the 5 victims of Jack the Ripper. And I, at one point, was really excited for this. The good news is that I think I can find the audiobook for this one. I think it's on Everand, but I'm gonna go check. And if I can find the audiobook, I'm gonna get started right away while I clean this up. It might be in like fast forward for you. Or if I can't find the audiobook, then I'll just start it a little bit later. I made it 50 pages into The Five by Haley Rubenhold. Here's the thing, I wanted to love this book. Like, I thought for sure 5 out of 5 stars, although I don't rate nonfiction, so it would have just been a really good, captivating nonfiction about the 5 lives that Jack the Ripper took. And like, Jack the Ripper was never caught. They never figured out who he was, although there was speculation that he was actually a woman. And I mean, that's kind of interesting. But That's one of those mysteries that we're never gonna solve. Just Jack the Ripper. So these are the 5 victims of Jack the Ripper, who should be known for more than just being the victim of a serial killer. And I full-heartedly agree with that. However, this is told with a lot of speculation and a lot of ways that maybe she would react. Maybe the author would react. Not like actually the conversations, like they're not real. And I have a hard time with this one because like I don't like to DNF nonfiction books. I don't know why, but I'm really not enjoying it because it's just speculation. It's not even for sure 100% real. And I get that you're not going to get 100% real, but like it's very dry. I'm going to keep listening for a little while, but there's a very big possibility that I'm going to unhaul this one too. I made it 100 pages into The 5 by Hallie Rubenhold. And surprisingly, I'm gonna unhaul this one too. I wasn't in the mood for nonfiction when it came up, but I was so excited for this book. I thought it was gonna be so good, but it's really dry and it's based a lot on speculation because, well, I mean, it's 150 years later. Nothing's really known about it. 200 years later. I don't know for sure, but it's been a long time, and like I appreciate what she was trying to do with this book, but for me it just didn't work. So I think we're gonna spin again. Okay, so we're gonna try another one. I'm gonna shuffle 1, 2, 3, and spin. Oh, I think it still has my headphones in there. Sorry. Whoa! What book is it? Whoa! Little Girls. Actually, I think that's a new one. I think it's one that I bought this year. I think it's a horror novel. Hold up. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see it? I'm having trouble finding it, but I'm sure that it's over here. Let's see. I think it has a blue... I think I found it. It's right here. It's right here. Hey friends, It's been a couple days, I think. But we're at work. Oh, man, do I feel better being here. I missed almost the entire week last week, but I was so sick. Anyways, last time I saw you, I picked Little Girls by Ronald Malfi. Or the wheel picked this. I'm still waiting for it to get scary. I'm like 75 pages in, which is 9 chapters. I really, really like the setup of this because it's about this woman who's having, like, you're not entirely sure, but her and her husband seem like they're having, like, money troubles and, you know, just, like, life troubles. And her dad died. And, by the way, that cover, beautiful. But her dad died and left her pretty much everything, even though they don't really talk. She hadn't talked to him in 6 months. And even that was just kind of more of, like, a pleasantry for him. Just like, yeah, sure, whatever. But he got dementia, and then he died. He committed suicide, and now, like, they're in the house, but it's not creepy yet. It's just like, okay, that's a good setup. I see why you came back. Now get creepy, but it's not creepy. So it's fine. I feel like this one I'm going to finish. It's not going to be like an Unhaul It type thing. I do think I'm going to finish reading it within the next couple days, but it's also not going to be like a 5-star book. It's probably going to be like a 2 or a 3. I'm leaning towards a 3 right now, but it depends on what else happens in this book, I guess. Good morning. I finished Little Girls by Ronald Malfi. And yes, I'm at school. I'll show you what I'm doing and then we'll talk about the book. Taking inventory of all this stuff, and I created a spreadsheet that I'm going to share with the other educators at my school. They can just count what they have, and if we need to buy more, like, we know how much we need to order. Then I also, like, got that updated, so that's accurate. So I've been working hard this morning. Sorry, I have the hiccups, but I finished Little Girls, and this is my second book by this author. I think there's actually a vlog of me reading the other one too. If there is, I'll link it. But this one says a ghost story, and like, I kept waiting for it to get scary. Like, the entire book. The ending was a little bit creepy, and I loved it. I wish that there was more of that creep factor throughout this whole book. You follow this girl, Lori, or this woman, who has a husband and a kid, and her dad dies, so she goes back to her, like, childhood home to take care of things, and then, like, it gets really weird because the neighbor girl, who is now Susan's best friend, and Susan is her daughter. Looks suspiciously like this girl that she used to hang out with. And then things kind of go off the chains towards the end, and that was my favorite part. I love the end of this book. I really just wasn't expecting those things about her dad, like Lori's dad, but it makes sense as to why, like, she didn't want to talk to him anymore and why he wasn't a part of her life anymore. So all in all, it was okay. I'm probably gonna give it 3 stars, but let's spin the wheel. I know I'm at work, so I probably won't start it until tonight or tomorrow, depending on how things go. But I did finish that, and it was not bad. It was just kind of generally very lackluster, and there wasn't a whole lot going on. Did you guys hear that? That was weird. So it's kind of boring. I would say it's more of a mystery than a thriller or a horror novel. It was fine. It's just not what I wanted. So let's shuffle. Hold up. Right here. I'm going to shuffle 1, 2, 3, and spin. Maybe. Oh. I think it's on my headphones, so you probably can't hear it. The Heights. Ooh. Okay, this one is also a new to me book. It's kind of, by the premise, reminds me of Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, which is one of my favorite books. So, like, one of my favorite thrillers. But we'll talk about it more tonight. That was my quick little update. I read, like, okay, fine. I skimmed, like, 40 pages of The Heights by Lois Candlish. And then I realized that I've DNF'd one other book by this author because her writing style is just not for me. I was not at all interested in this thriller. It sounded really good because, like, you follow this woman who's living in the Heights, which is this apartment complex, and when she looks outside her window across the street in the parking structure, she sees this man that she murdered 3 years ago. That sounds epic. Unfortunately, the writing just is not for me, so I'm going to be unhauling this, and then we're going to pick our next book for the Read It or Unhaul It challenge. This might be my last book for this reading vlog, but I guess we'll see how long of a book it is and how long it takes me to read it. So, these are all the books that I own physically, by the way. Ooh. Okay, here's the thing. This is a nonfiction. It's Book of Angels by Sylvia Brown, and I've read this book before, like when I was a lot younger. I don't want to read it right now, so I'm gonna give myself 1 pass. Sometimes when Emily Fox does these, she gives herself 1 or 2 passes depending on her mood. I'm giving myself a pass, so I'm not gonna read that right now just because I don't want to. I also don't really want another nonfiction book. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. This is one that I bought this year. Let me grab it. This is The Hole by, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name because I'm going to butcher it. This is a Korean horror novel that's been translated to English, but it's about like grief. And I have read the first like 50 or 60 pages, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't really good either. So I think, here's my prediction. I think that I'm going to finish this book in this reading vlog. I might pick one more book as well because it's actually fairly short. It's less than 200 pages. And the audiobook for it was like 4 hours long, which is really short. But I don't know if I was really getting along with the audiobook for it when I first started it a couple months ago, but I don't know. It's supposed to be, the thing is that I've been reading a lot of horror novels that I just keep waiting for them to get creepy or to get scary, and they haven't been scary, and this is no exception to that rule. It wasn't scary for the first 60-ish pages that I read. I don't know if I'm gonna restart it or just go from where I'm at. Maybe I'll try from where I'm at, and if I don't really remember what was happening, then I'll restart this one. So I'll update you when I'm halfway. We actually do have time for one more book after this one because I have 15 minutes left of the audiobook, which is about, it's the last chapter. So it's like 20 pages. Not quite 20 pages, less than 20. 11 pages. I'm sorry. I can't do math in the morning. But I pretty much finished this, so my final thoughts. I don't think it's going to change too much in the next 11 pages, and if it does, then I will let you know. But for a book that's about grief, there's not a lot of feeling to this book. It's just about this guy, Obla. His name is Ogi. He was in this accident with his wife, but his wife died, and he survived, but he's crippled now. And his mother-in-law came to take care of him, but she kind of blames him for her daughter's death, or his wife's death, and she's not very nice to him. But there's like really no feeling in this book. I felt very like way outside of the story, just kind of as an outsider looking in, and like I didn't really know any of the characters, and there was no emotion in this book, so I didn't particularly like it. If it changes within the next 11 pages, I will let you know, because I'm going to finish that one. And then I thought before I go to work that we could pick probably our last book on the spinner. I have like 3 more days of this reading vlog, so All Good People Here. All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. This is like a suburbanish crime fiction. You can't ever know for sure what happens behind closed doors. Everyone from Orkasaw, Indiana remembers the infamous case of January Jacobs, who was discovered in a ditch hours after her family awoke to find her gone. Margot Davis was 6 at the time, the same age as January, and they were next door neighbors. In the 20 years since, Margot has grown up, moved away, and become a big city journalist, but she's always been haunted by the feeling that it could have been her. And the worst part is January's killer has never been brought to justice. So then, of course, Margot goes back to her hometown to try and get the answers that she wanted as a kid. This one is actually on my self-destructing books list, so it's good that I'm getting to it. I have not updated this vlog in a few days, and the last time you saw me, I spun my wheel and it's got me All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. Here's the thing. I haven't started it, nor am I going to unhaul it yet. I'm on the waiting list for my audiobook, but the audiobook is like, oh, hi Jelly Bean. Hi bud. Hi. The audiobook is like a 15-week wait. So I'm just gonna be kind to myself and stop the read it or unhaul it challenge here. And we're gonna talk about all the books that I tried to read or that I did read in this reading vlog. And here's the thing, like, if I really read that right now, I think I would put myself in a reading slump, and I don't want to do that. I don't necessarily think I'm gonna hate that book. It's just that I don't always tend to like popular thrillers, but sometimes I do. So, I mean, potentially I could. I'm just so worn out on the whole going back to my hometown after 10 years of not being there because this murder happened or whatever. And that's kind of what this one reminds me of. But like I said, I'm gonna just wait until I get the audiobook. So I'm gonna stop this vlog here. I think there will be one more update where I talk about all the books from this video. Okay, so here's the thing. I attempted 2 of these videos. The first one I attempted last week when I was so sick. Like, I missed almost an entire week of work, which doesn't happen for me. But I really was so sick that I'm not sure if maybe I just wasn't liking anything because I was feeling like yucky, so I didn't want to like anything. But I have a huge sack from last week when you won't be seeing that video because, like I said, I was really sick, and the times that I did film, it didn't make sense, and I was just like, ugh. And I'm not gonna put that version of myself out there, even though that version is me, but like not me. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the ones that I didn't end up liking last week. I don't know if I liked any of them from last week. I don't know. We'll just talk about it, and then we'll talk about the books that I read in this video. So the first one from last week was Lies That Chelsea Handler Told Me by Chelsea's Family and Friends. I didn't realize this was from Chelsea's Family and Friends. For some reason, I thought that it came from her. It's fine. It's a nonfiction. It's just, I'm not really a huge Chelsea Handler fan anymore. I'm just not. Yeah, I haven't watched Chelsea Handler in a long time, so I really don't know what I was thinking. Then I got A Proof of Edenville by Sam Rebelin. And I don't remember why I didn't like this. It's like nightmares. I remember reading part of it, but I can't really tell you what it was about. Do I want to save this one just because I don't remember it? Okay, so this one... Okay, so this one was, like, it follows this author, and I don't really remember this one, but I remember the action of reading it, but I don't have a clue what it's about. So I think I'm gonna save this one. Then, Dead 11 by Jimmy Giuliano. I made it to chapter 5, but here's the thing, it's so weird, and like, I found that I don't like weird horror. Weird horror is not my thing. I know a lot of people love it, but it's just not for me, and that's okay. So this one's gone. Okay, and I've tried to read from this author before, and there's something about her writing. So this is The Dead Ex by Jane Corey. I just could not get behind this writing. I don't like it. And for that reason, I'm also going to unhaul My Husband's Wife by Jane Corey. Just because the writing style is just not for me, and that's okay. I just didn't like the writing. I'm finally unhauling Watch the Girls by Jennifer Wolfe. This I bought several years ago when I thought that I was in my stalker era. I just wanted to read all the stalker books, but here's the thing. This follows celebrities who want to like retire from the TV biz or whatever, and they get stalked because they're celebrities, and I was so uninterested. And I believe that this one was in the other one as well. Here's the thing. Like, this, I vividly remember. It's about a stalker, and this woman like kind of trades with the stalker. Like, she is his victim of stalking, but then she gets the chance to kind of become his stalker in a way. And I was really, really enjoying this one until, like, there's this other perspective, and I hate the other perspective, and the timeline of this just doesn't make sense. Like, it's like Jenna is the primary person that you're in her perspective, and like, she's being stalked, and then it takes you to her childhood, and then Sophie, who the heck is Sophie? Oh, and now it's Sophie's childhood, and now it's like, and like, they seem seemingly like unrelated, and I'm sure that at some point they relate to each other, but like, I was not invested. I don't care. Now, we're to the books that I'm pretty sure I read in this vlog. Did I read the Bromance Book Club for this vlog? I don't remember, but I absolutely love this. It's a reread for me. I want to read the entire series. 5 out of 5 stars. I don't know if I read that in this vlog or if it was right before this vlog. Then I started The 5 by Haley Rubenhold and quickly DNF'd The 5. So, man, I've been really, really wanting to read this, but the problem So you follow the 5 victims of Jack the Ripper. The problem with this is that it's a lot of speculation. And she downright says, oh, well, if that were happening to me, this is how it would go. But, like, I'm sorry, this was 1800s, like, late 1800s, and life was different back then. So you can't, I mean, I guess you can speculate, but I couldn't get behind this one, even though I really, really wanted to. So I'll be unhauling that one too. I feel like I should do an unhaul video on my channel now. Then there's Little Girls by Ronald Muffy. I did finish this one. It was fine. I think I gave it 3 stars. 2 or 3 stars. I'm going to be unhauling it, and this is the second horror novel that I've read by Ronald Muffy. I'm wondering if maybe I should just give up on this author. Let me know in the comments below if you've read anything by this author, and, like, especially if you loved it. What was it? I DNF The Heights by Lois Candlish. Very, very early on in the book. It was not what I thought it was going to be. Like I said, I thought it was going to be like Lock Every Door, but it wasn't. It's about this murderer who sees the guy that she murdered a couple of years ago, but now he's on her, like, parking garage roof or whatever, and she thinks that he's stalking her, but she also says she's gonna murder him for real or whatever, but, like, I don't care. And then I also finished The Hole by this author, and sadly I'm going to be unhauling this one as well. I really, really didn't like it. It was supposed to be a horror novel about grief, but I didn't really get any horror novel from it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.